Hello and welcome to Tube Mastery and Monetization 3.0. You made a fantastic decision joining this program. This, in my opinion, is the best YouTube program on the market. YouTube has completely changed my life, and my goal with this program is for it to change yours too. Now, I can't guarantee that it will because I can't guarantee you're going to take action with this information, but this information is incredibly powerful, and you're going to be discovering the same exact information that I've personally used and that all of the successful students within this community have also used. And speaking of the community, if you want to get access to that, I'm going to show you exactly how to do so in the next lesson coming up right here, because I want to make sure that you get in the community so you can ask any questions that you have along the way, and I am here to help. And a quick few words before we get straight into this program is I did want to say that YouTube results don't happen overnight, and it does generally take some time of uploading videos and creating a backlog before you get results. But having this program and having a specific formula to follow is going to allow you to know exactly what to do step by step. I'm going to give you the best checklists, the best templates, and the best step-by-step instructions for succeeding on YouTube that are out there, period. And along with that, you also have access to the community where I'm going to answer any questions you have along the way. So this does take some work, but trust me, it's worth it. This program essentially is a download of my brain of my 8 years on YouTube. Every tip, every trick, every secret that I've ever learned throughout my 8 years, you're going to be getting it essentially uploaded into your brain so you know exactly what to do. My goal with this program is to shave off years of otherwise trial and error and learning so you can just straight up know exactly what to do from the beginning. If I had a program like this when I was just starting on YouTube, I would have been so grateful. I probably have 10x the amount of results that I have right now. And I truly believe this is the best YouTube program out there, no matter what type of channel you're running. No matter if you're running a personal channel or a faceless channel. I know this program is going to be mostly centered around niche channels, which are primarily faceless, but the tactics for growing channels are universal, no matter what type of channel that you're running. So this will help you grow any type of YouTube channel, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it the right way. I'm really excited to see where this takes you and to see your channel grow. So make sure to join the private student community, which will be talked about in the next lesson coming up right here. I'll show you exactly how to join. And my goal for you for this program is for it to be a turning point within your life. And you might be saying, Matt, that sounds kind of extreme. I just bought a course. And you can look at it that way, or you can look at it as having the potential to change your life like YouTube truly did for me. So I do ask that you be open to the potential of this change in your life, because I've observed that the students who've gotten the biggest results within my community were at least open to that possibility, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do. Whether you've never started a channel in your life before, whether you already have a YouTube channel but it's got no traction, or whether you've already got a YouTube channel that's getting some traction that you want to blow up to the next level, monetize, and just overall scale to the next level, Tube Mastery and Monetization 3.0 is going to show you exactly how to do it. I've spent the past few years of my life making sure that this is the best YouTube training program on the market. I truly believe that it is, and you're going to see that very soon as you go through this program. And I can't wait for you to go through it and see how much value that it has to offer. And the next lesson right here, we'll be going over how to join the private student community. And in the lesson after that, I'm going to show you exactly how to use this course to make sure that you go through everything and implement it in the right order. And I just want to say a quick thank you for trusting me for joining this program. I know it does take some trust in order to invest in a program like this. I don't take that lightly. I'm here for you with anything you need. I'm in the student community. I've been answering every single question daily for the past few years, and I'm going to do my absolute best to help you with your journey, and I'm honored to be a part of it. That being said, let's get straight into the program. I can't wait for you to see it all, and let's get started, and I'll see you throughout the course. It's time to join the private mastermind group to get access to me and all the other students in here to talk with, network with, and ask any questions that you have along the way with your journey. And in order to join the private community, all you have to do is simply click the link below this lesson. It's going to redirect you to the group, and then within there, it's going to ask you to just simply put in your email. All we're going to do is verify that your email matches the email that you bought with, and we'll let you right into the group. And once you join the group, it's going to look something like this. And once you're within here, all you have to do is scroll down here and click Write Something, and you can introduce yourself if you want, share any results that you've gotten with this program, or ask any questions that you have. And if you scroll down here, as you can see, I literally have been answering every single question daily for the past few years. So if you have any questions at all, don't feel afraid to ask them. I absolutely hate when I buy courses and I ask a question within a private group and nobody answers me. Absolutely hate that, so that's why I'm trying to make this program the best, not only YouTube training program on the market, but I do at least want to attempt to set a new standard for online education programs in general, so that's why I'm here to help you within this group right here. And if you scroll to the top of the group, as you can see, there is a little feature tab. These will be any announcements we have about the course, so any free bonuses that I'm giving you or anything else, that'll be in this featured tab right here. And as for things to post within the group, we have a super supportive community, so anytime you get any results whatsoever, whether it be getting monetized, whether it be getting your first 100 subscribers or your first 100,000 subscribers, feel free to post it within the group. Everybody will celebrate you and it motivates everyone. And also, like I said, any questions you have, any insights you have, this is basically a mastermind group for you and everybody else within this program to get as much value as we possibly can get from it. Now, I do ask if you have any questions to verify that the subject wasn't first covered within the course. So I do ask that you simply go to your members area of the course, click your current course. You'll be watching 3.0. This is 2.0 right here, but you'll just click the 3.0 course and then click this search button in the top right here. And from here, you can simply search the topic of your question. For example, let's say you had a question about case studies. You can simply put that in right there. And as you can see, there is a dedicated lesson regarding case studies. And in addition to checking the actual course, you're also going to get a bonus course called Tube FAQ, which includes all of my answers to your most frequently asked questions within the group. I've recorded a bunch of videos answering common questions, so if you have a question, I do ask that you also quickly search within Tube FAQ. And if you can't find an answer, then feel free to jump here within the group and write your question within the group, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. So I want to make sure that you get all of your questions answered within this program. That's why we've set up this private community. On top of that, my team and I are trying to go above and beyond to make this the best YouTube program on the market. And in the next lesson, I'm going to show you exactly how to use this program to maximize your results, and I'll see you there. I'm going to show you how to use your members area to get the most out of it. So the URL for your members area is members.mappar.com. And I would make sure to either write that down or bookmark that somewhere so you don't lose access to this. And when you bought this program, you should have got your password sent automatically to you along with the link to the members area. But if you didn't, at any time you can go to members.mappar.com and then go down here and select forgot password. And then it'll send an email to the email that you signed up with for the program. And also, if you have any technical questions or if something's not working, feel free to email support@mappar.com and they'll be more than happy to help you and get you taken care of. So now let me walk you through the different programs that you have access to. Your most up-to-date and best program will always be at the very top of your members area once you log in. And it will most likely be Tube Mastery Monetization 3.0, which is what you're going through right now. So I recommend going through 3.0. If 1.0 and 2.0 are still within the members area, those will just be for archive purposes. Just disregard those because everything covered within these programs will be covered within 3.0 and more, and it's completely up to date with YouTube's interface and everything else. And then below those programs, you will also see Tube FAQ, which is my answers to your most frequently asked questions. So if you ever have a question, feel free to reference this prior to going into the group. And below that, you'll see a program called Tube Secrets. Tube Secrets is a simplified version of my YouTube method. So if at any time throughout your journey, things are just a little bit too complex and you just want to focus on the basics, feel free to jump into Tube Secrets right there. Tube Channel Case Studies is a collection of case studies of different channels in different niches if you want to get inspiration. But even in 3.0, we're also going to give you a list of over 200 plus example channels in every niche imaginable, along with 100 plus profitable niches. So you also have that as well. And then you might see some specialty bonus courses at the very bottom here just for you to get as much value as I can possibly give you. So I recommend going to Tube Mastery and Monetization 3.0 and going through the entire program step by step. Trust me, there's so much within this program that you don't want to miss, so many little secrets and tips and tricks that you want to make sure you catch and implement onto your channel because it's going to give your channel the best chance for success possible, which is what you want and I want at the end of the day. There's so much knowledge within this program. I've taken my 8 years on YouTube and condensed it down into exactly what you need to know to succeed. So this is an opportunity to download my brain into yours in terms of all my YouTube knowledge. I'm really excited to meet you within the private student community. And in the next lesson, we're going to actually be getting into this business model. I'm going to show you exactly how it works and an overview of it, and I'll see you there. Alright everybody, so in this lesson, we're going to be going over some case studies of some actual channels that are doing this. Because look, I know it's one thing to talk about this all day, but it's a whole nother thing to actually show you examples of channels doing this. So I'm going to show you a bunch of examples in this lesson right here. And then later in this course, I'm going to actually be giving you over 150 different case studies of channels that you can see and take a look at. And I'm also going to be giving you a list of over 100 plus profitable niches. But for right now in this lesson, let me just show you some examples of channels that are doing this. So as you can see with this spreadsheet right here, we have over 150 different YouTube channels in different niches and almost 160 different YouTube channels right here. As you can see in the travel niche, technology, science, scary stories, psychology, list channels, luxury channels, celebrity channels. We have channels in so many different niches that I put this together for you guys. You do not know how many hours of research have gone into putting together this list, but I wanted to give you a really comprehensive list of different case studies of channels doing this. Now, I'm going to be giving you the link for this list in a different lesson, but in this lesson right now, I just kind of want to highlight and show you kind of at a high level channels that are actually doing this method and doing it really good. I want to show you some highlights of channels that I think are doing this very well so you can get a better idea of exactly what it is we're going to be doing, what kind of channels that we're going to be running. So the first channel that I wanted to show you is this channel called Brainy Dose. Now, Brainy Dose has over 1 million subscribers on their channel, and they just make videos like people who like to be alone have these 12 special personality traits. 7 million views on that video right there. Now, if we take a look at the stats on their channel, now if you're not familiar, I'm using a plugin called Social Blade right here, which estimates how much money that YouTube channels could be making via ad revenue, and it shows you how many views they're getting per month and how many subscribers that they're getting. So I highly recommend installing the Social Blade plugin. It's completely free and I highly recommend it. It's really good for doing market research on different channels as well. This channel right here, as you can see, gets 3 million views per month, and they could be making between $850 and $13,000 a month from their channel. Now, I would estimate that this channel is making around $6,000 to $9,000 a month via ad revenue from my experience in running channels in niches similar to this. So not bad at all, and this channel would be in the psychology niche. Now, here's another channel called Top 5 Best. Now, this channel would be in the general top 5 niche. I don't actually recommend doing a very general channel like this. It's a lot easier to get initial traction if you're doing a channel in a very specific niche, much easier to monetize as well. And there's tons of huge example channels in some of the weirdest niches you could ever imagine. I'll be showing you a couple in this lesson right here. But as you can see, Top 5 Best, they do general top 5 videos, and some of these get an insane amount of views like this. The top 10 most insane banned water slides, 43 million views on their channel. And if we take a look at the Social Blade stats on their channel, they're getting 14 million views a month. So not bad at all. Could be making between $3,000 and $58,000 a month. I would estimate that this channel is making around $30,000 a month due to the fact that it's in a pretty low CPM niche, and I'll be covering more about CPM, how these channels are making money. But essentially, these channels are making money by putting ads on their videos. Now, they don't have to manually do this. Once you get 4,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers, you can join the YouTube Partner Program, and YouTube will actually put ads on your videos for you, and you'll get paid a percentage of that ad revenue. So that's what Social Blade is estimating right here in these figures. And that's why there's such a big range between these figures, because some channels are in lower CPM niches where not as many advertisers are wanting to advertise on those videos, while other videos are in higher CPM niches and there's more demand from advertisers to advertise on those types of videos. And in this course, I'm going to show you some of the best high CPM niches to make sure that you can make the absolute most amount of money doing this. Now, going back here, I would estimate that this channel right here is making around $30,000 a month just from ad revenue alone. So not bad at all. And here's another channel called Tech Zone right here. And Tech Zone is a great example of a channel in a high CPM niche, which would be the technology niche. And they have 2.7 million subscribers right here. And they just do videos like the 10 coolest tents in the world, 8.6 million views on that video, which is crazy. And if we take a look at the stats for this channel, they're getting 10 million views a month, so almost as many views as that kind of general top 10 channel. However, I would almost guarantee you that this channel is actually making a lot more money via ad revenue from their channel, from my personal experience, if these channels have ads turned on their channel, which I bet they do. I mean, that's why they're producing these videos, right? And these channels are getting a lot of views and potentially making a lot of money. And I would say that the amount of money that this Tech Zone channel is making is probably on the higher end of these two figures. So I would guess that it's probably making around $40,000 a month just from ad revenue. Not bad at all, and definitely not bad at all considering the fact that this Tech Zone channel is actually translated into a bunch of different languages. So the owner of this channel has this channel translated into a bunch of languages, and each of those is getting millions of views a month. So the owner of this channel runs a bunch of different channels, and they're not only making around $40,000 a month from this channel, they have a huge string of different channels in different languages. And like I said, I'm going to show you how to do that in this program. But going back here, looking at this channel, and you might be curious about what the quality of these videos is. If we go to take a look at this 10 coolest tents in the world video right here, as you can see, it's literally just other people's videos. They make it transformative and fair use, which I'll be showing you how to do. And they also do a voiceover on top of the videos. You'll notice that that's a very common theme across all of these successful YouTube channels. They all do a voiceover on top of the video. And if you don't want to do a voiceover, you can always get other people to do it for very cheap as well. But that will give your channel the best chance for success, and you're going to have a lot easier of a time, not only getting views and subscribers and getting a higher amount of watch time, but also in monetizing your channels. Going back right here, as you can see, it's just these videos with a voiceover on top of the video, making it transformative and fair use, and some of these videos get a lot of views. Here's another channel called Chills. This channel would be in the scary niche, and they just basically take a look at different scary videos from the internet, like 5 scary videos that went very wrong, 13 scary videos that will scare your socks off. Each of these is getting at least like 500,000 to 1 million views each, which is crazy. And if we take a look at this channel, they're also getting 10 million views a month. Not bad at all. Here's another channel called Nuke's Top 5s in the same exact niche as that last Chills channel, and they're getting even more views, 16 million views a month on their channel. And I would classify the scary niche as a pretty low CPM niche, but a lot of these channels make up for it in the amount of views that they're getting. So I would estimate between these two figures right here that this channel is making around $30,000 a month. Not bad at all. Here's another channel called Alux. This I would consider to be a very high CPM niche, and this would be the luxury niche or the financial niche. And this niche right here is so high CPM due to the fact that there's so many different advertisers wanting to put ads on these types of videos, different luxury brands, different airlines, and everything like that. And as you can see, this channel right here, Alux, is getting 7 million views a month. And even though these numbers are kind of lower than some of these other channels that we were taking a look at, it would be on the higher end of those two numbers in terms of their monthly earnings from ad revenue. And due to the fact that there's so many different ways to monetize your channel that I'm going to show you in this program exactly how to monetize your channel the absolute best. And as you can see, they just do videos like 15 worst things people have done for money, 15 basic money skills everyone should know, and some of these get a ton of views. And here's another channel called Animalpedia, this one with over 300,000 subscribers, and they produce videos mainly focusing on cats, but some dog videos as well, and some of these do very well. 7 mistakes cat owners make, 2.4 million views. And the awesome thing about this channel as well is that the owner of this channel runs multiple different channels of this same one in different languages. I think they have like an Italian version of this channel, I think an Espanol version as well. So they have a bunch of different language versions of this given channel right here. So not only do they have this channel, which is getting over 1 million views a month, and I would say this is a pretty semi-high CPM niche as well, due to the fact that there's so many animal brands advertising on YouTube. Not only are they getting 1 million views a month from this channel, but they have multiple other channels also getting over 1 million views a month. They're doing very well right there. And here's another channel called Viral Vehicles, this one being in the car niche, basically just talking about different types of cars, like the 5 weirdest examples of retro futuristic designed cars, and 7 car features that no longer exist. And some of these get millions upon millions of views, and that's a pretty good CPM niche as well. the car niche. And here's another channel called Top 5 Gaming in the gaming niche. And the awesome thing about this channel is that they don't even play the games themselves. They get clips of other people playing the games. They make it transformative and fair use. They do a voiceover on top of the videos. And this channel, 60 million views a month, which is absolutely insane on this channel. This channel is making between $15,000 and $250,000, $250,000 a month. And I would estimate that this channel is making around, I mean, due to the fact that they're talking about a lot of big games right here, like Fortnite right here, I mean, I would think there's a lot of advertising dollars going into that. So I would estimate that this channel right here is making around $150,000 a month, and that's just ad revenue alone. Absolutely insane. And it looks like they have some brand deals right here too. It says use code T5G in the item shop. So it looks like they have some type of brand deals as well. So they're not only making money from that, but they probably have other ways they're making money as well. In showing you all these different channels, I just wanted to show you that this is possible to actually do this method. There's new channels popping up all the time. Now is the best time to get into YouTube if you're thinking about doing it. I personally am starting new channels all the time, and I have tons of students doing it as well successfully. So now's a great time to start doing this. I wanted to show you that there's channels actually doing this, and so you can just kind of start to get a feel for what these types of channels are and what types of channels that we're going to be running. These are channels that you could do yourself, starting off doing it yourself, and then eventually you could outsource the work and pay other people to make the content for you. That's kind of a common theme that runs across these channels that I'm showing you here today. And like I said, I cannot wait to give you this list of example channels as well. And I cannot wait to give you that list of over 100 plus profitable different niches. You're going to get a ton of value from it. I really believe that these resources that I'm putting together for you in this program, you're going to find so valuable in starting on your YouTube journey. It's of my utmost belief that you will, and I personally would if I was just starting out on YouTube. And I personally refer back to these resources that I created myself all the time, and I'm giving them to you here in this program, and I think you're gonna get a ton of value from them. And in this next lesson here, I'm gonna be giving you a checklist on the exact steps that you need to take to do this successfully, so you can follow around and literally just check off the boxes as you go through this program, and hopefully you'll have a successful channel at the end. I believe these resources are going to help you a ton on top of the course that you're getting and on top of the community that you're getting. So hope you got value from this, and I'll see you in the next lesson. So now I wanted to give you a step-by-step checklist for doing this, and I think you're going to find this very valuable. Now, this step-by-step checklist, also called the Tube Mastery Checklist, you'll find a link directly below this video that you're watching right here. Below the lesson, you should see a link to this spreadsheet, which is basically a checklist in which you're going to be able to check off the items of this list as you go along through this course. So let me open up the checklist and show you exactly how to use it. Alright, so after you open the checklist, it'll look something like this. And as you can see, this checklist is for your first 60 days on YouTube. This is exactly what you need to do, the exact steps that you need to take. And I wanted to condense it for you in a checklist so you can basically go through this course along with having this checklist and check off each of the steps that you're taking along the way. So as you can see right here, it starts with our biggest item, which is choosing a niche. And that's broken down into a couple different steps. First step would be to choose a type of channel. And once you choose what type of channel that you're going to be running, and don't worry, I'm going to give you all the information about making an informed decision and choosing a niche and everything. And once you choose which type of channel that you want to run, then all you have to do is just check this little box right here, and it will check it off. And then on the right-hand side right here, as you can see, we have time frames for how long it should take to make these decisions. Now, some things will take longer than others, and for some people, this will take longer than a week. And for some people, they'll be able to choose a niche in a day instead of a week. But as you can see, this process of choosing a niche will take about a week. That's what I generally recommend. For some people, it might take more, and for some, it might take less. But that's generally what I shoot for. Now, I usually take longer than this, admittingly, but I'm making this checklist for myself as well to really try to make a decision and give myself a time limit for doing so. As you can see right here, choosing a type of channel, that should take around a day. And then it's time to choose a niche. And I recommend about 5 days for choosing the specific niche that you're going to be doing. And then you can come up with a channel name right here, which should take about a day. And I'll show you methods of doing that as well. And then, as you can see, you can just check these boxes as you go along. And once you finish this section, as you can see, the section will turn green. So before you finish it, it'll be red. And once you do, then it'll turn green. And then you can move on to the next section right here, which is setting up your channel for success, which should take around a week as well. And you can make your channel art and logo, verify your channel, and all of that should take around a day. And as you can see, all of that's in one box right here. So all 3 of those steps should only take a day. And then you can do the secret SEO keyword process, which I'm going to be going through in this course. That should take around 3 days right there. And then come up with your 33 video ideas, which should take around 3 days. And then you can check it off and you can go so on through there. And then the next step right here is generating your first 33 videos, which should take around a month if you're generating the content yourself, depending on the type of content that you're making. Now, for some people, this will take a lot more. Some things do take some getting used to in using all the different programs that I'm going to be showing you how to use in the different softwares. But once you get going with this, like, it becomes a lot faster. It becomes a lot more streamlined. And on top of that, you can pay other people to make the videos for you as well, which I'll be showing you how to do and scale and all that kind of stuff. Feel free to modify this checklist if you need to. So feel free to go in here and say, you know what, I think it's going to take me more than a month to do this. Feel free to put 2 months in here. Feel free to do however long you feel like it's going to take you. And you can always edit this along the way as well. The purpose of this is not to stress you out, because I know some people with checklists and deadlines, they might get a little bit stressed out and it might be a little bit difficult for them. However, I find that it does help me make decisions. And even while I might not make a decision in the amount of time that I give myself, I think I make it a lot faster than I would otherwise. I believe that it helps me, and I hope this helps you too. You don't have to use this by any means. Like, I've started a lot of channels without using checklists, and they've done just fine. However, I really believe that this structure is going to help you a lot in really laying out the structure of exactly what to do. I really do hope that this helps you, and feel free to edit any of these timeframes or dates or anything. And this goes into writing scripts, recording voiceovers, editing the videos, making the thumbnails. And again, this is if you're doing it yourself. If you're paying other people to do it for you, that's going to be a little bit different. You could probably do this in under 30 days, honestly, if you're getting other people to do it for you. You feel free to edit this all to your own specifications. And then as you can see, once you check all those 4 boxes off right there, you get that satisfying green. And then you're going to upload all your videos on YouTube as private all at once. And then you're going to go through and optimize all of your different videos. And then it's time to schedule your videos to be released. So this covers the entire process of the first 60 days on YouTube. And then you might be saying, Matt, where do I go after the first 60 days? Now, before I show you what you're going to do after that, let me just first of all show you exactly how you can take this spreadsheet and make it your own. Because if you go in here and if you click the link below this, you're not going to be able to initially edit this or check the boxes or anything like that. So make sure you pay close attention to this. Once you open up this spreadsheet, then you're going to want to go to File right here, and then you're going to want to go to Make a Copy. And this will make a copy on your own Google Drive. So make sure that you have a Google account to be able to make a copy right here. So make sure you have a Google account. You go open up the spreadsheet at the link below this lesson, and then go to File and go to Make a Copy. And that'll make a copy within your own Google Drive. And then you can open that copy and you can edit it. So that's how you do that right there. And then you'll be able to edit all of this and make it all to your own liking. And then as you can see right here as well, if we go to the top left-hand corner right here, it says important, make sure you watch the lesson checklist to understand how to use this checklist correctly. Now you're watching that lesson right here, so you're good with that. And then if you go to the bottom right here, this explains what to do after the first 60 days on your channel. So it says, after you're done with this checklist here, let me actually scroll this down so you can see it here. After you're done with this checklist, then it's time to analyze and optimize based off of the data from your first 33 videos. Refer to the course to discover exactly how to do that. So in this course, I'll show you exactly how to analyze and optimize based off the data. And the purpose of getting these first 33 videos up is to get initial data. Now, you might get lucky, one video might blow up, and usually I do have one video starting to get traction within the first 33 videos. But if not, do not worry at all. That's very common. And if not, I'm going to show you exactly what to do to analyze and optimize based off the data in this program. So I hope you find this checklist really helpful right here. And let me just uncheck these boxes right here so that when you go down to open it, it's not all checked off already. And yeah, feel free to make a copy of this and feel free to edit it to your liking. And to see these comments right here, all you have to do is hover over these boxes with the little yellow on them right there to see any comments that I put or any updates that I put. I might put comments on this spreadsheet as well. So feel free to refer back to this and feel free to make it for your own liking. If you're doing something a little bit different, let's say in your first month, you're only going to generate like 15 videos due to the fact that you're making really complex animation videos, which could make up for the fact in the amount of views they get due to the fact that they're good quality. If you're doing that and it'll take you like 2 days to make a video, then I would recommend changing this to your first 15 videos or whatever it would be. Feel free to edit this entire list right here, this entire checklist. This is for you. This is to help you with this process. So make this your own and use this to help you. But I laid out what I would recommend for the best practices right here. So feel free to keep it as it is as well. And I hope you get a ton of value from this checklist. I know you will. And honestly, I'm going to be using this checklist as well for all the new channels that I'm running, and I hope you get value from this. So make sure to check that out down below this video right here. You'll see the link to the checklist. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Welcome to the Choosing a Niche module. In this module, we're going to be going over exactly how to choose the absolute best niche for your needs. And I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do it in this module. Specifically, what we're going to be covering right now is why you need to choose a niche, the bird's eye view of choosing a niche on YouTube, what you'll be learning in this module, and then finally your goals for this module. So first of all, let's talk about why you need to choose a niche. So really the main reason that you need to choose a niche on YouTube is due to the fact that you're going to be able to implement something called similar metadata. Now, what this is going to allow you to do is make your own videos appear in the suggested video tabs of other videos on your channel and get what I like to call feedback loops in which viewers watch one video and then another video from you and another video from you. You're going to rack up a ton of watch time as a result, and your channel has a potential of absolutely blowing up. This is how I've blown up so many different YouTube channels. And if you choose a specific niche on YouTube, you're going to have a much easier time implementing this similar metadata due to the fact that there's going to be consistent keywords across all of your different videos. And don't worry, I'm going to be going more in depth exactly how to implement similar metadata in the next module in my secret keyword process. But also, you're going to be gaining more subscribers, which equates to a higher view velocity. What that means is that you're going to be getting more subscribers per view on your channel, because if you upload videos in a single niche, people are much more comfortable subscribing to a channel that only uploads videos in a single niche, because more likely than not, one of your videos is going to take off a lot more than your other videos, and a lot of people will be coming from that video, checking out your channel, and if they see that you don't upload more videos like that video, they're not going to subscribe to your channel. And even worse, if you're continuing to upload videos that aren't even in the same niche, people are going to unsubscribe from your channel, and that can be very bad. And once you get subscribers, like I said, you're going to be able to get a higher view velocity as well, due to the fact that people are subscribed to your channel and they'll get notified every time you put out a new video. And finally, in my experience, the more niched down a YouTube channel is, the better it performs and the easier it is to get initial traction if you choose the right niche. And that's exactly what this module is going to show you, how to choose the right niche. So now let's take a look at a 30,000 foot view of choosing a niche. And that starts with, first of all, choosing a way of going about doing YouTube. And there's a few different ways, the first of which is running outsourceable channels. Also what I like to refer to as niche channels. You'll hear that term being thrown around a lot in this module. And the second way of doing YouTube is running a personal brand channel. This is what most people think about when they think of doing YouTube. And the third and final way is a hybrid channel, which is kind of a combination of both. And I'll be explaining this more in depth, giving you examples of all of these. Don't worry. And then once we chose the way that we're going to be going about doing YouTube, now it's time to make a list of niche ideas. Now, these can be things that you're passionate in. This can be something that you'd like to do long term. And if you don't have anything, if you can't think of anything right now, don't worry. I'm going to be giving you so many different resources in this module to help you choose a niche. But really, what I like to look for is something you're passionate in, something you'd like to do long term, because that's going to greatly help your chances for success. And if you can't think of anything right now, I'm going to be giving you so many different ideas in this module that hopefully something will spark an interest in you and you'll be interested in one of these different niches that I'm going to be laying out for you. And then it's time to actually do market research and see if there's a market for your given niche. And this consists of analyzing the competition, seeing if there's already popular videos and channels within this given niche, which is a good sign, and then also doing keyword research to make sure sure that the competition for the niche isn't too extreme. And then finally, it's time to also consider ways of monetizing your channels. And in this module, I'm going to be showing you some of the best high CPM niches, which basically means you'll make the absolute most amount of money per 1,000 views, and a bunch of other considerations to make sure that you choose the right niche and make the absolute most amount of money. And then this brings us to our final goal, which is having a niche chosen. So now let's talk about what specifically you're going to be discovering in this module. First of all, why we go about choosing a niche, which I just covered right now. And then we're going to be discovering what the different ways of going about YouTube are, and I'm going to help you make a decision with that as well. And then we'll talk about how to identify something you're interested in, and then we'll discover how to see if there's a market for your niche. And then I'm also going to be giving you some niches to avoid to make sure you don't fall into any of these pitfalls along the way. And then I'm also going to be giving you a list of profitable niches plus channel example ideas. I think you're going to get so much value from this. I can't wait for you to go through it. I put a lot of work into this right here. And then also, I'm going to be giving you a bonus of some of the best high CPM niches, which basically means that you'll make the most amount of money per 1,000 views. And as a bonus, I'm going to be giving you my favorite personal niches as well, and some of the criteria that I look for when I'm starting a new YouTube channel, what I like to look for in terms of choosing a niche, and I'm going to be giving you example channels in each of these niches as well. So I can't wait to show you that. And now let's talk about your goals for this module. So your goal is to, first of all, choose a method of going about doing YouTube, and then making a list of 10 potential ideas that you think you might be interested in doing long-term, or just things that you might think perform well. And then it's time to narrow down your list based off of doing market research, which I'll show you how to do, and then finally have your niche chosen. So that's the goal for this module. If you already have some ideas in mind, I still recommend going through this module in its entirety, because it's going to help you do market research just to make sure that whatever you're interested in, whatever you're thinking about doing, even if you already have a channel, this is going to help you a lot, and you might find a lot of great video ideas along the way, as well as ideas for other channels that you might start down the line as well. So I think you'll get value from this no matter if you have a channel, if you don't have a channel, especially if you don't have a channel, and especially if you haven't chosen your niche. You'll get a ton of value from this module, so I'll see you in the next lesson. Now we're going to be talking about the different ways of going about doing YouTube. So here's what we're going to be covering in this lesson. Something called niche channels, also known as outsourceable channels, which is really what this program focuses on. And then we're going to be covering personal channels, and then hybrid channels, and then I'm going to be giving you examples of all of these. And then finally, I'm going to go over the pros and cons of each to help you make your decision on which type of channel that you want to run. So first of all, let's go over niche channels. So niche channels, really one of the most prominent forms of niche channels are list videos. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with list videos if you've ever watched YouTube videos in your life. And these include top 10 videos, top 5 videos, covering a huge wide array of topics. There's list videos in so many different niches on YouTube. And typically, it's a narrator doing a voiceover with videos and pictures playing in the background of the video. And I'm sure you've seen videos like this on YouTube. And some more categories include animation videos, storytelling videos, educational videos, ASMR, meditation, cooking, life hacks, woodworking, crafts. There's so many different sub-niches for niche channels. It's really just channels that are focused on a single niche. And really the big thing about niche channels is that it's typically not even someone showing their face on the channel. So these are channels that can be run without you showing your face, without having to get in front of the camera. And there's a lot of pros of running niche channels. But before I go over the pros and cons of running niche channels, let's first of all go over some examples of good niche channels. Here are some examples of niche channels. The first of which is in the luxury niche, and it's a channel called Mr. Luxury. And feel free, by the way, to check out any of these channels in your free time. Feel free to go to YouTube, search these channels up, get Social Blade, see how many views per month that they're getting. Feel free to take a look at these channels yourself, and this might even help you get some ideas as well. So first of all, Mr. Luxury is within the luxury niche, and they just upload videos like the most expensive houses in the world, the top 10 most expensive private jets in the world, and basically just videos like that. The next channel is a channel called Top 15s, which is in the scary niche, and they just upload top 15 lists of different scary videos from around the internet, like top 15 scariest clowns that have been cited, and some of these videos actually get a lot of views. And then we have the channel Top 10 Zone, which is in the tech niche, and they just upload basically a lot of different tech videos covering the top 10 best laptops you can buy off of Amazon, top 10 best electric bikes, and stuff like that. And then we have the channel Body Hub, which is in the health niche, and they upload a lot of videos like 3 easy tricks to gain muscle and how to lose weight fast, and basically videos like that. And then in the business niche, we have the channel Business Casual, which uploads basically stories of different entrepreneurs and business people throughout history. And then in the animal niche, and basically in the pet niche, we have Animal Facts, which mostly covers different dog breeds, comparing dog breeds against each other, top 10 reasons you should buy a certain dog breed, top 10 reasons you should adopt a certain dog breed, or the top 10 best dog breeds for if you live in an apartment or whatever your situation happens to be in. So these are just some examples of niche channels, and that's really what this program is focused on as well. It's focused on running these niche YouTube channels. So now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of running a niche channel to help you deduce if running a niche channel is for you. So the first pro of running a niche channel is the fact that it's scalable. You can run multiple different niche channels at the same time, and also you can hire other people to generate the content for you. That's really one of the most amazing things about niche channels. And also a great thing about niche channels is the fact that you can start generating the content yourself if you want to, or you can straight up hire people to generate the content for you off the bat as well. So another pro of running a niche channel is the fact that you don't have to show your face. And I know that's a pro for a lot of people, but really it comes down to being scalable, and it comes down to the fact that it doesn't rely only on you to keep the channel running. Now, this can be incredibly helpful if you want to ever take a break from running your channel and have the channel still run in the background, having videos produced for your channel without it relying only on you. It can be very freeing to have a niche channel. And also, due to the fact that it doesn't only rely on you, this is a potential asset that you could potentially be able to sell down the line. So YouTube channels by themselves don't usually sell for any money. However, YouTube channels are usually included as like a social media asset, and if you ever wanted to sell your YouTube channel down the line, not many people want to buy a channel that has your face on it. So in order to make this an asset that you could potentially sell down the line, a niche channel is a great way of going about doing YouTube. Now let's talk about some of the cons of running a niche channel. So in some niches, it can be harder to sell products due to the fact that it's someone, usually a host or a narrator, that's not showing their face or getting in front of a camera. So in some instances, there can be less trust between the channel creator and the viewers of the channel. And for that reason, it can be harder to sell products in certain niches. Now, in certain niches, it can be easier, which we'll be going over in this module as well. So now let's talk about personal channels. Now, this is where there's a personality who's the face of the channel, and this is basically what most people think about when they think about doing YouTube. They think about big YouTubers like PewDiePie and vlog channels that get behind a camera and make the videos themselves. And let's talk about the pros and cons of running a personal channel. Now, the pros is that sometimes it is easier to sell products with personal channels due to the fact that there's a lot of trust between the channel creator and the people who are watching the channel, partially because that person's getting in front of a camera, they're showing their face and everything like that. It's also easier to change niches if you ever wanted to in the future as well. Now, if you know anything about what I teach, I'm very anti-changing niches, so I really don't ever suggest changing niches in the future. However, with a personal channel, if you're running a channel like a vlog channel or a channel that's mainly focused on your personality, then people are subscribing mainly for your personality. So if you ever wanted to change niches in the future, that's definitely a possibility if you were running a channel like that. And also, there's more trust as well. So you might get a higher view to subscriber ratio. Now let's talk about the cons of running a personal channel. It's less scalable, and that's mainly due to the fact that it requires you actually getting in front of a camera to film every single video, and it's dependent on the personality, who's ever the personality behind that channel. So those are the main cons of running a personal channel. You can't really sell this channel ever if you want to do in the future, or if you do, it'll be for significantly less than if you had a niche channel, because companies mainly, if they're looking to buy like social media assets, they're going to be looking for a niche channel that doesn't show their face or anything like that. Now, due to the fact that there is more trust when it comes to personal channels, it may be easier to get channel sponsorships in some instances, which I don't typically recommend sponsorships usually anyway. For some people, it can be a very good source of income. Now, with the channels that I run, I don't generally recommend sponsorships, but I personally haven't had any issues getting so many different companies reaching out to me to try to get sponsorships on some of my top channels, especially my top channel with over 1 million subscribers, and that's a niche channel where I don't even show my face. So those are just some things to consider when it comes to the pros and cons of running a personal channel. So now let's give some examples of personal channels. The first of which is my own personal channel called Make Money Matt, which is in the YouTube niche / make money online niche. And then we have the channel Dr. Ramani, who's a doctor who specializes in narcissism and different personality disorders, and that's in the psychology niche. And then we have the channel Dr. Eric Berg, who basically focuses on keto and healthy eating and stuff like that in the health niche. And then we have the channel So Illuminati, which is a reaction channel reacting to popular memes and stuff and videos on the web. And then Marquez Brownlee, also known as MKBHD, is a technology channel revealing all the latest technology. And then finally, we have Scotty Kilmer, who runs a car channel talking about how to fix certain things of your cars, reviewing cars, and stuff like that. These are just some examples of personal channels. Now let's talk about hybrid channels. So what is a hybrid channel? So a hybrid channel is a channel that doesn't completely fit into either category. It's not really a personal channel, and it's not really a niche channel all the way either. Now, these can be channels that have multiple hosts in which there are people actually getting in front of a camera for the channel. However, these are people who could potentially be replaced, or these are channels who already have multiple different people hosting the channels. So these can also be outsourced as well. So if you're running a hybrid channel, you can potentially hire a host to get in front of a camera and to be a host for that channel. And hybrid channels aren't channels that are named after the person who's getting in front of a camera. These won't be channels that have the host's name in the channel. They'll typically be similar to niche channels in their naming. So now to give you a better understanding, let's go over some examples of hybrid channels. Now, the first of which is a channel called Top 10s, and this is in the general top 10 niche, mainly focusing on more educational videos. And if you wanted to check out this channel, Top 10s, make sure to go to their featured channel section on their channel page, because the people behind this channel run a bunch of different channels doing basically hybrid channels as well. So these are channels in which there's a host behind the channel, as you can see right there on that image. There's a host who gets in front of a camera for these videos, but these are basically top 10 videos, and it's very similar to niche channels in that sense. And I would say this is more on the end of a niche channel, but at the same time, there is a host getting in front of the camera filming the videos. But if this host ever wanted to switch out, he could. There could be someone else who took the place of this host in the future if they ever wanted to. And then we have the channel SciShow, which is in the science niche, which has a bunch of different hosts, and they produce videos, science-related videos talking about certain things in nature and just science in general. And there are people who get in front of a camera for this channel. However, there's multiple different hosts for the channel, and it's not dependent on just one personality. That's really one of the key identifiers that separates this from a personal channel. It's not dependent on just one personality, and there's multiple hosts on the channel, but someone's still showing their face. And then we have a channel called Gravity Transformation, which is in the health niche, and this has a few different hosts as well, and this just talks about general health-related topics like how to lose weight, how to gain muscle, stuff like that. So now let's talk about how to choose the right type of channel for you, because I'm sure that's what you're wondering at this point. Which type of channel should I actually run? And in order to help you with your decision, I've put together this little chart right here, which kind of brings in some of the pros and cons of running different channels, and really to ask yourself what your needs are for running a channel and what you want to accomplish with your channel. So, for instance, if you wanted to have scale, be able to run multiple different channels down the line, then really the main ways to go are either running a niche channel or a hybrid channel. This is how you would scale to making multiple different videos per day on your channel. Now, obviously, you could do this with a personal channel, but it does take a lot of time to be releasing multiple videos a day. And really, when I talk about scale for niche channels and hybrid channels, you could be running channels in multiple different niches as well. So, For instance, I only have one personal channel, and it would be extremely hard for me to have multiple different personal channels in different niches. For instance, I have my personal channel Make Money Matt, which is in the Make Money Online / YouTube niche. Now, if I were to be starting multiple different personal channels talking about different things, it would be incredibly hard to write the scripts, record the videos, and even if I did have the editing outsourced, because you can outsource certain aspects of running a personal channel, it's still not as scalable as running either a niche channel or a hybrid channel. So that's really the pros of running either of those types of channel. So if you want scale, I recommend starting with either a niche channel or a hybrid channel. Now, if you want to sell things easier, you may want to consider either doing a hybrid channel where you have a host who's a host for the channel, or doing a personal channel yourself. If you're like the face behind a business, your business or company or something like that, you might want to consider either a hybrid channel or a personal channel. For instance, on my personal channel, Make Money Matt, I sell this YouTube program, and it makes it a lot easier to sell this program when I'm actually getting in front of a camera and filming the videos myself. There's more trust between me and the viewers, and it's a lot easier to sell programs or to sell whatever you're selling, whatever kind of product, when you're getting in front of a camera, or at least having someone getting in front of a camera for that channel. So in that instance, it would be better to run a hybrid channel or a personal channel if you want to sell things easier. Now, if you want scale, and if you don't want to show your face, and you want a sellable asset, then niche channels are really the only way to go. If you want all three of those things, a niche channel is the channel for you. Now, if you want to sell things easier and you want scale, then you're going to want a hybrid channel, or at least consider running a hybrid channel. Now, real quick, I also want to touch on the fact that you can potentially run multiple different channels at the same time. But this lesson right here is really to help you choose your type of channel for your first initial channel that you're starting. Now, if you already have a YouTube channel, that's fine as well. This might help you think about if you want to start another channel in the future. However, I just wanted to make it a point that you can run multiple different channels at the same time. You can do all three of these techniques if you want. However, personal channels are very limited. So what I would recommend doing is starting a niche channel and then starting a personal channel, or if you have your personal channel right now, get that going good, and then start a niche channel, or vice versa. There's so many different ways of going about doing this, and you really just have to ask yourself what you want. Think about all these different aspects and the pros and cons of running each of these different types of channels, and ask yourself, do I want scale? Do I want to not show my face on my channel? Do I want to show my face on my channel? Then I got to start a personal channel. But I can also have niche channels on the side, or maybe a hybrid channel, which also helps sell products as well, in which I hire a different host to host that channel. So these are just some things to think about when it comes to choosing a channel. So I hope you got a ton of value from this lesson, and I'll see you in the next lesson. In this lesson, we're going to be going over some of the best high CPM niches on YouTube to help you choose the best niche that you possibly can. So first of all, let's go over what we're going to be covering in this lesson. First of all, let's talk about why CPM is important, and then we're going to go over the best high CPM niches there are on YouTube, and then I'm going to teach you how to identify high CPM niches yourself, and I'm going to even show you what you can expect to make in high CPM niches and in low CPM niches, so you can get a good idea and make a better and more informed decision. And then finally, I'm going to show you how to increase CPM outside of niche selection. So first of all, let's go over why CPM is important. So CPM is the amount of money that you make per 1,000 views on your channel. Now, certain niches have a higher CPM than others. And if you're unfamiliar, the way that making money on YouTube works is that once you join the YouTube Partner Program, YouTube will put ads on your videos and you'll get paid a percentage of that ad revenue that YouTube puts on your videos. And this is really one of the primary ways that most niche channels make money. However, there are more monetization methods that I'm going to be getting into in which you can make a lot more than just from ad revenue. But in this lesson, we're primarily going to be talking about just ad revenue. And like I said, certain niches have a higher CPM than others. You might be asking, how is that possible? Well, this is due to the fact that there's more advertisers wanting to advertise on certain keywords and certain niches. So the way YouTube's business model works is they rely on advertisers to make the bulk of their money. And the more advertisers want to advertise on specific subjects, the higher the earnings are going to be for those creators who are creating content in those subjects. So picking a high CPM niche is going to allow you to make more money with less views. You're going to be able to make more money per per 1,000 views on your channel, and that's what CPM is. It also stands for cost per milli, I think, which is basically an advertising term that also stands for the amount of money that they pay per 1,000 views, but it's also shown within your YouTube analytics as someone who's running channels, and it'll show you your CPM, which is how much you make on your channel per 1,000 views. So now let's go over some of the best high CPM niches to make the absolute most per 1,000 views on your channel. The first of which being the finance niche. Now, as you can see right here, I give you the niches, and then to the right here, I also show you an example channel that's in each of these different niches to help you get a better idea. And as you can see right here, the example channel is Economics Explained, and it basically just goes over different financial subjects and the economy. And the reason that the finance niche is such a high CPM niche is due to the fact that there's so many different advertisers in this space wanting to advertise on YouTube videos. Now, this can include investing companies like Fidelity, Acorns, Webull, Robinhood, and there's so many other financial services that want to advertise in the financial niche. And due to that reason, you'll make a lot more per 1,000 views in the financial niche. Now, the next high CPM niche is the Make Money Online niche. And the example channel right here is a channel called Young Entrepreneurs Forum. Now, part of the reason that the Make Money Online niche is such a high CPM niche is, first of all, there's so much demand for this niche that there's so many different products that are sold in this niche. There's so many different people advertising courses online and advertising programs to help you make money online due to the fact that there's so much demand for this. And I myself run ads in the Make Money Online niche, and the people's videos that my ads are going on, that's making them money. So the Make Money Online niche is an insanely high CPM niche. Now also we have the technology niche right here, and the reason the technology niche is such a high CPM niche is due to the fact that there's so many different technology companies like Apple, Google advertising on their own platform, Facebook. There's so many different companies advertising in the technology niche. And as you can see, I gave an example channel right here, an example niche channel, which is called Tech Vision. And then the next high CPM niche is the health niche. And as you can see, we have the example channel Bestie right here with 2 million subscribers. And think about how many different health products there are out there. I mean, different like smoothies, stuff to lose weight, stuff to gain muscle. There's so many different sub niches in the health niche, some being more high CPM than others, but the health niche as a whole is a very high CPM niche because there's so many different health companies advertising on YouTube. All right, the next niche is investing, and this is kind of ties into the finance niche, and it's such a high CPM niche due to the reasons that I stated for the finance niche as well. And as you can see, the example channel here is Cooper Academy Investing, which basically just goes over different stocks that are doing good and how to make money through dividends and stuff like that, how to grow your portfolio. And then we have the travel niche. Now, some of the biggest companies that advertise on YouTube are travel services like Expedia, Hotels.com. They put a lot of advertising dollars into YouTube, and they target travel-related keywords. Keywords on channels like Touropia right here, with over 400,000 subscribers. That makes a lot of different travel-related content, like the 10 best places to visit in Iceland and the 25 most beautiful medieval towns of Europe. And then we have the legal niche right here. Now, there's so many different legal services like Rocket Lawyer and so many different legal professionals that are advertising on YouTube. And due to that fact, the legal niche is incredibly high CPM. And the example channel that I found was this channel called Legal Eagle. Now, this channel is more of a hybrid channel. It's not really a personal channel or a niche channel, and I couldn't really find any niche channels in the legal space. So this could actually potentially be a really good space if you wanted to start a niche channel in the legal niche due to the fact that it's so high CPM, and a lot of these videos get a ton of views as well. And then we have the insurance niche right here, and think about how many different insurance companies there are out there, especially if you live in the United States. There's so many different insurance companies out there advertising on all types of different insurance, and due to that fact, keywords like home insurance, auto insurance, and everything insurance related is very high CPM on YouTube. And the channel that I found was this channel called Think Insurance, and as you can see, it doesn't have the most subscribers, and they don't really get the most amount of views per video, so there might not be as much demand in terms of people actually looking up videos on this topic. However, the insanely high CPMs for this niche could make up for that fact. So even with very little view counts, you could make a lot per 1,000 views in this niche. And then we have the makeup niche right here. And as you can see, I found a channel called You're Gorgeous. If you've ever been on YouTube, you probably know that makeup is a huge niche on the platform. And there's so many different makeup companies like L'Oreal and so many different others that are advertising on makeup channels like this. And then we have the marketing niche right here. And the example channel that I found was called Create WordPress Sites, and basically just teaching how to create WordPress sites. Now, this could go into different types of marketing as well, like social media marketing. It doesn't just have to be website marketing, how to run ads, and everything marketing related. That's what the marketing niche encompasses. And part of the reason this is such a high CPM niche is due to advertisers like Wix.com or Squarespace.com who are pouring just tons of advertising dollars into YouTube for their platforms, which help you make a website. Same with WordPress as well. And guides like this, which teach you how to make websites, web hosting, so many different advertising companies advertising on these types of channels. The marketing niche is very high CPM. And then we have the real estate niche right here, and I have a channel called Fortune Builders, which is in this niche producing animated videos about real estate, how to get started in real estate, how to form a real estate LLC, and so on. And the real estate niche is incredibly high CPM because there's a lot of local real estate companies as well as big companies like Zillow or Realtor.com who are spending a lot of money on advertising in the real estate niche. And then we have the cars niche right here. Now, the automotive industry has spent so much money on YouTube advertising, and they're one of the main spenders for YouTube ads. So due to that fact, anything automotive related, cars related, is going to get a very high CPM as compared to other niches on YouTube. And I have the channel right here called Bladed Angel, which makes different car videos, like 5 cheap car mods that look impressive. And as long as you have those keywords like car, best cars, car reviews, the car niche is very high CPM. And then the final high CPM niche is the movie niche. Now, you're going to want to be careful with this niche in particular due to the fact that you can get copyright striked very easily for using different parts of movies or scenes from movies, movie trailers, TV shows, anything like that. And for that reason, it's a lot better to not necessarily talk about movies or show movie clips, but instead talk about the actors behind the movies or talk about the best scenes from the movies, but don't actually play the scenes in your videos to avoid being copyright striked. And I'll be getting into more of this down later in the course when it comes to actually generating videos. But as you can see, the example channel right here is a channel called Looper with 5 million subscribers. And it not only does it talk about different movies, like explaining the end of Avengers Infinity War right there, but also it talks about the different actors who've played in movies, like actors who were never the same after a role. So the movie niche is very high CPM just because there's so many different movies that are coming out all the time that want to advertise on the movie niche. So now let's talk about how to identify high CPM niches and how I'm going about identifying these niches myself and how I'm giving you this information. So some of the high CPM niches that I shared are from my own experience running channels in these niches. I run channels in very low CPM niches, which are made up for by the amount of views that those channels are getting. So they still make a considerable amount of money, but I have to get millions upon millions of views per month on those channels to make that much money. And I also have channels in very high CPM niches, and I don't hardly have to get any views on those channels in order to make a lot of money, due to the fact that those channels are making so much per 1,000 views. And oftentimes, high CPM niches might not get as many views as lower CPM niches due to the fact that those are so popular. But again, you don't need to get as many views to make a bunch of money in those niches. So some of them are from my own experience, but some of the niches that I shared are from other channels that have shared their CPMs publicly on YouTube. There's certain channels that have uploaded videos talking about how much money they make on their channel. And then all I simply had to do was look at their Social Blade analytics, see how many views they're getting per month, see how much they say they're making per month, and then you can calculate their CPM based off of how much money that they're making per 1,000 views. So if you ever see YouTubers out there who publish income reveals showing how much money that they make, then you can simply find their CPM by seeing how many views they're getting per month, how much they're making per month, and then deducing that down to how much they're making per 1,000 views, and that's their CPM. And also, you can identify high CPM niches by searching the top advertisers on YouTube and see who's pouring the most amount of money into YouTube ads. And right now, that's actually Apple. So as you can see on this graph right here, we have Apple Incorporated right here, who's one of the top spenders so far this year on YouTube ads. And due to that fact, videos about Apple products, videos about technology are going to have very high CPMs. And then we have TurboTax right here, which will be advertising primarily, I assume, on videos about investing, videos about taxes, videos about legal advice and stuff like that. And then we have Expedia right here, which helps with like booking hotels and planes and flights and stuff. So that's going to make the travel niche a very high CPM niche. We have Geico, which goes into insurance, which we briefly covered. We have Disney right there, which is entertainment, movies and stuff like that. Bloomberg, which is finance. And then we have Procter & Gamble. We have some more finance. And then we have Stars Entertainment, which goes into movies. And then we have The Motley Fool, which is like investing, make money online, stuff like that. And then Carvana, which is the car niche, automotive niche, and stuff like that. Now, all of these different advertisers right here vary. This is just this year, and a lot of things have happened this year, so a lot of these advertisers flip around and change spots, and there's a lot of different niches in here as well that aren't covered on this list right here. So what I recommend doing is, if you're interested in finding more high CPM niches, and you can sometimes find this data on Google, and it's very valuable to see who's spending the most amount of money, and usually it's those industries and it's those niches that I covered in here. So any of these niches right here are going to be very high CPM, some higher than others, and it does depend on the time of year. Some of these will advertise more so than others, especially if you were doing something like in the travel niche per se, and you were doing like the best holiday giveaways during the holiday season, the CPMs would go up if you're producing videos like that. Same if you're talking about certain types of technology or something like a new phone that recently came out or something like that. The CPM for that niche is going to temporarily increase for that. But this is just something to keep in mind as well, that some of these are semi-seasonal depending on what you talk about. But all in all, these niches are going to be a lot more high CPM than other niches on YouTube. And any of these niches will make you a lot more per 1,000 views than a lot of other niches on YouTube. So that's definitely something you can do, searching up top advertisers on Google, seeing who's advertising the most on YouTube specifically. And like I said, this does change a lot, so don't think like Apple's always going to be the top advertiser on YouTube. They're not always. However, that just goes to show that the technology niche is super high CPM. And I know I mentioned things like the make money online niche were very high CPM as well. And the make money online niche is a little bit different because there's so many different people advertising on that niche. So you're not going to see, for example, many make money online companies here, except for the Motley Fool kind of, which is like an investing type of thing, which does advertise on a lot of make money online channels. You're not really going to see people selling courses on this list due to the fact that you'd have to spend like a lot of money to get onto this list right here. So these are mainly just big corporations and stuff like that. But oftentimes on like niches like the make money online niche, it's a lot of smaller advertisers combined together, which produces a lot of advertising budget that's going into the make money online niche. So that's a very high CPM niche as well. So now let's talk about what you can expect to make in both low CPM niches and high CPM niches. So these numbers are subject to change, and these are from my personal experience running channels in both low CPM niches and in high CPM niches. So in a low CPM niche, you can expect to make around $2 per 1,000 views on your channel. Now, like I said, this is subject to change, and it really depends on the niche, the audience you have, and everything like that. But in lower CPM niches, you can expect to make around $2 per 1,000 views. Sometimes it can be 1, sometimes it can be 5, but really in that range, that's what you can expect for low CPM niches. And you might be asking, what are some low CPM niches? This would be things like the prank niche, the scary niche, and a lot of these niches can get a lot of views. However, you're not going to make as much per 1,000 views in terms of the amount of money you're making from ad revenue. And then for high CPM niches, you can expect to make between $10 and $50 per 1,000 views. Now, like I said, these are subject to change. However, from what I've observed from high CPM channels, you can expect to make $10 and $50 per 1,000 views. And on my Make Money Online channels, by the way, in that niche, I make well over $40 per 1,000 views in that niche, which is absolutely an insane amount of money per 1,000 views. And to really put this in perspective, for example, if you were to get 100,000 views on a low CPM niche, that would be around $200 from ad revenue. Now, if you were to get that same amount of views 100,000 views on a high CPM niche, that could be as much as $5,000. Now think about this, there's channels in both low CPM niches and high CPM niches getting millions of views per month, and that's just 100,000 right there. So if you had a channel that's getting over 1 million views a month in a high CPM niche, you could potentially make as much as $50,000 per month, which is absolutely crazy. Now let's talk about increasing your CPM outside of just niche selection. So this includes using alternative monetization methods to monetize your YouTube channel, because it's not just your channel that influences CPM. If you're making more money outside of just the ad revenue that you're making through alternative sources. And like I said, you can potentially make a lot more than from just ad revenue through using alternative monetization sources. And certain niches monetize better than others with these alternative sources. And you might be asking, what are these alternative sources that I can monetize my channel with and make a lot more than from just ad revenue and make money without being monetized, without having 4,000 hours of watch time or 1,000 subscribers? Well, I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite niches to do this in the next lesson. And then later in this course, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the best ways of monetizing your channel and alternative means of doing so. So while it doesn't only depend on which niche that you choose for YouTube, choosing a good niche is very important. So that's why in the next lesson, I'm going to be sharing with you some of my personal favorite niches and the criteria that I use to judge niches on being better than others. I like to choose niches that are both high CPM and have a lot of traction, that are evergreen, and that can be monetized through alternative means. So I'm going to be going over my favorite niches in the next lesson. Hope you got value from this lesson, and I'll see you in the next lesson. All right, so in this lesson, we're going to be covering some of my personal favorite niches. Here's exactly what we're going to be covering in this lesson. First of all, I'm going to talk about why following your passion is important, or at least something that you have a vague interest in. And then I'm going to go over my criteria for a great niche. And then I'm going to share with you some of my personal favorite niches on YouTube. So first, let's talk about why following your passion is important. So if you're interested in a topic, you're much more likely to stick with it long enough to get success on YouTube. See, most people don't get success on YouTube after uploading only 10 videos on the platform. For some people, it might take 30 videos. For others, it might take 60 for one of them to take off and for your channel to be an operating business. Now, if you're actually interested in the topic that the channel is in, you're much more likely to stick with it long enough to get success. Now, if you're running like an outsourceable channel or a niche channel where you don't show your face or anything like that, it still really helps to be interested in the subject of that niche channel. So I don't really recommend choosing a niche just based off of if it has a good CPM or just based off of if it has really low competition and a lot of people are searching for that niche. It really helps to actually be interested in the niche as well. And in giving you all of these different niches that I'm giving you in this module, and especially in this lesson sharing with you some of my personal favorite niches, I really don't want to influence your decision if you're already interested in what might already be a good niche. So if you have niches that you are interested in, then I highly recommend writing down 10 things that you're interested in. Now, this can be your hobbies, interests that you have, your job, whatever it happens to be. I recommend just writing down 10 things that you're interested in. At this point, it doesn't matter if there's even a market for these things that you're interested in. These are just some ideas. And if you have no interest at all and you just want some ideas, that's what this lesson is for. This lesson isn't by any means to tell you you have to do this niche or this niche. This is just to tell you some of my personal favorite niches, and I'm going to be going over the criteria for these niches in just a second. But remember that that's what this lesson is for, just to give you some ideas. But I highly recommend writing down a list of 10 things you are interested in, or if you can't think of anything right now, this will help give you some ideas, and then maybe you'll find some interest in all of these different ideas that I'm giving you, both in this lesson and in the future lessons, where I'm going to be giving you a list of over 100 plus profitable niches, plus tons and tons and tons of example channels in these niches. So you're going to want a list of at least 10 niche ideas, and whether these come from interests that you actually have or from some of the ideas that I'm going to be giving you, they can be a mix of both as well. There might be a couple things you're interested in, and there might be a couple things that you see on this list that you might be interested running a channel in as well. And then we're going to narrow down the list that you have by doing market research and then coming to a final decision and choosing your niche. So now let's go over my criteria for a great niche. So first of all, the niche must be evergreen, meaning that it doesn't only depend on trending topics. See, there's certain niches on YouTube, certain video games per se, or certain things that trend, or seasonal things that trend during holidays, and anything trending, I really don't want to make a channel solely based off of that trending subject. Now, we might take advantage of opportunities to produce content on trending topics, but we really don't want that to be a main focus of the channel. The main focus should definitely be evergreen, and it should be in an evergreen niche. And it also, one of my criteria is that it must have a lot of interest. A lot of people must be searching for this every month. There must be already popular videos in the niche. Now, this means videos with over 100,000 views. At least that's typically what I like to look for. And it must also have a good CPM, meaning that when we monetize with AdSense, we must be able to make a good amount per 1,000 views in the niche. And also, they must be monetizable outside of just AdSense, whether that be affiliate marketing, selling your own products, whatever it might happen to be. And I'm going to be covering a ton of that in the monetization module of this program, but it must be monetizable outside of just AdSense. And also, it must have a lot of sub niches, meaning that it's not only the one big niche, for example, the health niche, and there's so many different sub niches like losing weight, gaining muscle, jumping higher, running longer, whatever it might happen to be, swimming. I mean, there's so many different sub niches within the health niche, but that's just one example. And one of my criteria is that it must have a lot of sub niches to be able to research a bunch of these different sub niches and really try to understand the market that doesn't have too much competition, but there is still a lot of interest. And we find videos with, like I said, with over 100,000 views. And there's some decent sized channels as well. Now, there doesn't have to be big channels in the niche either, really. I mean, as long as there's big videos in the niche that have gone up somewhat recently and it is an evergreen topic, then many times you can take a niche that there's not many big channels in the niche because there's not many channels producing consistent content on this particular subject. But you see that there's multiple videos uploaded to YouTube that have a lot of views in that particular subject, and then you make a whole channel based on just that subject. That's how I've grown channels to huge amounts of subscribers, trying to find gaps in the market for channels, not necessarily gaps in terms of videos. I mean, there's plenty of videos out there, but we make a whole channel based on that niche. That can be very profitable. So now let's go over my personal favorite niches. So one of my personal favorite niches is the make money online niche. And as you can see, we have the example channel right there. And then also on the bottom next to me right here, as you can see, I put a potential monetization method as well. Now, one of the reasons the make money online niche is one of my personal favorite niches is that it meets all of that criteria that we just went over. And also there's tons of different sub niches within the make money online niche. The CPMs are insanely high. And it's very, very, very easy to monetize with alternative sources. And the example alternative source that I gave right next to me right here is through affiliate marketing. And that's actually this program right here. If you wanted to be an affiliate for this program, you could potentially promote it and make 50% of every single sale that you give. Now, it doesn't have to be just my program. That's just an example, but you could promote so many different digital products in which there's a very high amount of profit that you make per sale on those digital products. So whatever the digital product happens to be from marketplaces like ClickBank or Digistore24. This one, for example, as you can see next to me, this is from Digistore24, which is what my program is hosted on right now. And then we have the health niche, also very high CPM, tons of different sub niches. I know I briefly mentioned this niche as well. And the example channel right there is that channel Natural Cures. And monetization is almost endless with this niche, whether it be supplements, whether it be diet plans, whether it be referring people to personal trainers and getting an affiliate commission off of that, whether it be promoting ClickBank products. That's the example I gave right there on the monetization next to me right here. I gave the example of promoting ClickBank products. ClickBank has a ton of different health products, and in particular digital products, meaning you'll make a lot more per sale because you don't have to deal with like the people having to pay for shipping and handling and all that kind of stuff that goes into physical products. You don't have to pay for fulfillment really because people just get their course or ebook instantly delivered to them. And then we have the psychology niche right here. Now, the psychology niche is a very overarching niche, and it can encompass a lot of things. It can encompass relationships and dating. It can encompass depression, and there's so many different sub-niches within the psychology niche, whether it be mental health or therapy or whatever it might be, dealing with narcissism or other personality disorders or whatnot. The psychology niche is very big, and there's tons of big channels in so many different of these sub-niches. And there's so many different sub-niches without channels based around them that you could potentially make a channel as well. And for the example for monetization right there, I put also some more ClickBank products. They have a mental health section right there on ClickBank. Or you could promote Amazon books that deal with certain psychological things as well. And there's so many different things. And primarily on ClickBank right there in the mental health thing, it's mostly stuff that deals with like relationships and stuff like that. But this can be a very big niche. And the example channel I gave was Brainy Dose for the psychology niche. And the next niche is the technology niche. Now, the example channel we have there is Future Tech, mostly just talking about new modern gadgets and technology that's coming out. And there's so many different sub-niches, whether in the technology niche, whether it be future technology, whether it be bike technology, whether it be transportation technology, just electric vehicles. Like, these are just off at the top of my head. And after doing keyword research in this niche, if you're interested in running a channel in the technology niche, it could potentially be very lucrative. Now, for monetization, I gave the example right here next to me right here of the Amazon Associates program, in which you can promote Amazon products, namely the ones that you're showing in your videos. And a great example channel as well, I think it's called Top 10 Zone, and they've just basically produced videos like the top 10 best Amazon laptops, the top 10 best Amazon folding bikes, and all this kind of stuff. A lot of these videos get a ton of views, and the best part is that a lot of these are like higher ticket items when it comes to like electric vehicles or bikes or stuff like that. And then they're able to put their Amazon affiliate link to those products in the description, and every single time someone clicks that and buys it, they get a commission for every single sale. Now, this is going to be less per sale than if you were to be selling digital products, which typically have a bigger, higher margin. A lot of digital products also have upsells as well, so you can potentially make recurring money out the back end. But that's just a couple things to consider when it comes to the technology niche. Still a very great niche in my opinion, and there's so many different sub niches as well. The next niche we have here is the pet niche. Now, I know when most people think about the pet niche, they think about dogs and cats, but there's so many different sub-niches in the pet niche, whether it be lizards or snakes or even some unconventional pets in which there might not be a channel based around them, like birds, or there's so many different pet species out there and different breeds of pets as well. Different breeds of dogs, different breeds of cats, different types of birds. There's so many different possibilities in the pet niche. And the example channel right there is that channel Smart Dog Lover, but some other channels that I can think of off the top of my head are Animal Facts, and I think there's one called Animalpedia, and I think there's one called Animal Wise, which is very big as well. And the pet niche can be really good, not only because it's a very decent CPM due to so many different pet companies advertising, and namely companies advertising on more conventional pets like dogs and cats. However, I'm sure they also do target keywords like pets in general. So this can be a very high CPM niche, and especially if you're one of the only content creators uploading content in a very specific niche, like a very specific type of pet. You don't want to go too specific, but this is just some ideas. And then also, in terms of monetization, you can also monetize via digital products for the pets, whether that be a course on how to train dogs from ClickBank, like I gave the example right here, or whether that be a course on how to get cats to stop tearing up your furniture. I think there's literally a course on ClickBank that teaches how to do that. You can make a whole channel based around that, which is crazy. And there's so many different opportunities within the pet niche, and I really do think it's a great niche and one of my personal favorites. Now, the pet niche can also go to encompass the animal niche as well. You're not going to see it as high of CPMs if you make videos about the top 10 fastest animals and stuff like that. But if you focus really just on pets, like comparing different dog breeds against each other and stuff like that, you can have a very high CPM. And there's so many different sub niches as well, due to the fact that there's so many different breeds of dogs or cats or whatever animal you're going to be taking a look at. And then we also have the finance niche right here. The finance niche is one of my personal favorites due to the fact that you can talk about so many different types of things like investing or taxes or business in general or economics. The finance niche is huge, CPMs are just absolutely insane. You can also talk about like how to save money, how to invest in your 20s, how to invest in your 50s, and so on. So many different possibilities in the finance niche. And for monetization, I gave the example right here of a program called Webull. And Webull is an investing platform in which people can invest. And one of their biggest successes with that platform was actually getting influencers to sign up for the affiliate program. So a monetization possibility would be for you as a channel owner to sign up for the Webull influencer program and then promote that link in the description. And it's really a no-brainer for a lot of people as well, because the people who click that link also get 2 free stocks. And then every single stock they buy in the future, I believe you get a percentage of that, which is amazing. And you could potentially make a lot of money through that affiliate program. And CPMs are really high. You could also sell courses. You could also promote courses or other digital products in the finance space. And you could also even refer people to different insurance providers or different tax professionals and make an insane amount of money doing that as well. Obviously, you'd have to find people who are willing to offer an affiliate program for that type of thing, but you could potentially make a lot of money doing that. So now let's talk about how you can find more good niches. A really great way of finding great niches is to go onto affiliate marketplaces like ClickBank and Digistore24 and to see what categories they have and what some of their top selling products are. Now, usually there's a lot of demand for these different categories and for some of the top products on big affiliate marketplaces like this. And there's other affiliate marketplaces too, like ShareASale, I think, and there's so many different others out there. You can take a look at that. I'm also going to be giving you a list of some of the top affiliate networks as well in this program later in the monetization module. But usually there's a lot of demand for these. And the best of all is that it's monetizable outside of just AdSense, because you can promote these programs or make your own program and so on. But if you go on big affiliate marketplaces like this, see what some of the top selling products are. There's probably a lot of demand for these types of products, and you could potentially make whole channels around just a single product on here and just promote it like crazy in the descriptions, pinned comments, and everything in your YouTube videos. And you could also make a whole channel around just a category and so on. And sub niches of a lot of these top categories are really good as well. Categories like health, wealth, and happiness are what I like to refer to as the big 3 when it comes to niches. And happiness, you might be wondering, like, what exactly is happiness? Because health is kind of self-explanatory, so many different sub-niches within that. Wealth, how to make money online, finance, and so on. But happiness can also relate to psychology, which is one of the reasons that the psychology niche and all the different sub-niches within it is one of my personal favorite niches as well. So sub-niches of any of these separate niches are typically very good as well. So if you're looking to find more good niches, really just think to yourself, health. How many different avenues can I go on under health? Or wealth? How many different avenues can I go on? And so on. Same with happiness when it comes to psychology, mental health, and so on. And also, I'm going to be giving you a list of over 100 plus profitable niches, plus over 160 example channels in a ton of these different niches. And these are niche channels as well. So channels that don't even show their face or get in front of a camera or anything like that. I'm going to be giving that to you in these next lessons right here. So you're going to get a ton of value from this list. I hope you got a ton of value from this lesson right here. And I'll see you in the next lesson. All right, so in this lesson, I'm going to be giving you the list of over 100 plus profitable niches, plus a list of over 160 different example channels, example niche channels, in a bunch of these different niches. So first of all, let's start with our profitable niche list right here. And before I open the list, to make sure that you have access to the list, make sure to click that link down below this video right here. So below this lesson, you should see 2 links. One of the links should be for this profitable niche list, and then the other link should be to the example channel list as well. So you should see both of those links down below this video right here. So if you ever want to refer back to these, or you can bookmark both of these links as well, these should be hosted in Google Drive, and you can always check those out below this lesson, and any updates that will be within these Google Drive links. So first of all, let's open up this profitable niche list. So here is our list of over 100 plus profitable niches. And as you can see, this is the list. Once you click that link down below, you can see this list right here. And as you can see at the top, It also says, also to see example channels in many of these different niches, check out this spreadsheet by clicking here. Remember, this list is to help give you ideas. If you just click this link right here, you can open up the example channels as well. But right now, let's just go over this list of 100 plus profitable niches. As you can see right here, we have all of the different niches right here, and it's actually over 100 different niches right here. So feel free, go through this list, see what interests you or what might interest you, look up some of these niches, try to find channels in these different niches. This is just to help give you ideas or spark some interest on that you might not have even known that you had. So that's what this list is for. And as you can see, I give tons of different examples right here. And also, I give you some kind of outside the box ideas as well. Like just scrolling through here, I noticed this one, 360 videos. Like 360 videos are actually really big on YouTube, and there's tons of channels that just produce like animations in which you can like see in 360 degrees, virtual reality stuff. Like these are some outside of the box things, or you could potentially buy like a 360 camera and produce this type of content. And we also have things like tests and quizzes right here, which are actually really big on YouTube, and they're just like these viral type quiz type of stuff. And I'm going to be showing you a bunch of that in the example channel list that we're going to go through in just a second here. But this list is for you, and this is to help you get ideas. So I really hope that this does help you, and I will be updating this list every time I find like new niches on YouTube. I always make sure to add them to this list. So this list will be updated, and it'll be kept up to date with the latest niches that I'm finding. So they'll all be on this list of over 100 plus profitable niches. You always have access to that down at the link below. So now let's talk about the example channels. As you can see at the top of right here, we have the link to the example channels, and at the very bottom of this list, we also have this, which says, remember to check out this spreadsheet to see tons of actual examples of channels doing this, and also check out tube channel case studies in your course member area for an in-depth look at different channel ideas. So within your course member area, within your library at members.mattpower.com, you'll find another program called Tube Channel Case Studies, and that'll give you tons of different ideas as well. And I actually go in depth on like ways of monetizing different types of channels. I give you actual case studies and all that kind of stuff. So you can feel free to use that program along with this as well. So now let's actually open up this spreadsheet. So here's a spreadsheet right here, and as you can see, here's all the channels on the left-hand side right here. Here's all the links to these channels, so you can check them out for yourself, and here is the given niche that these channels are in. All of this for you on this spreadsheet, and as you can see, I've sorted it by alphabetical order by default in terms of niche. So affirmation channels at the top, then the airplane niche, then the animal niche, then the animation niche, archaeology. Like these are some niches you probably did not think of, and I found actual examples of big channels in each of these different niches that are doing very well. I found 168. This is basically all of my time on YouTube, finding these different niche channels, bookmarking them myself. I put it all into this spreadsheet for you right here. So you don't have to scourge the web looking for different ideas, niche channel ideas, anything like that. I give them to you right here. So make sure to check out these example channels. I think you're going to get a ton of value from it. And also check out Tube Channel Case Studies as well. Use that along with this. And as you can see at the very bottom right here, we also have some channels in different languages. Now, I just recently started adding these channels in different languages, like the Spanish channels and the Italian channels, Russian channels. But if you want to check out some of these, definitely check them out. I have a lot more channels in different languages that I found that I still need to add to this list right here. But a lot of these channels in different languages are getting a ton of views as well. But like I said, I have a lot more that I got to add. And I've got more to add even to this English list right here. So this list will be updated as well. Every time I find new niche channels, I'll be adding them to this list that you have access to as part of having access to this program. I really hope you appreciate this, and I really hope that you get a ton of value from this. And like I said, these are for you to get ideas. This is for you to go through this list, see what interests you, maybe watch a couple videos from a bunch of these different channels and be like, I'm kind of into animals. Like maybe I want to see what this channel, Dogmole, is up to. And I might want to see like maybe the Dodo or Smart Dog Lover, what these channels are producing. and you might, find some things that you didn't know you were interested in that you actually are. You might also find some great opportunities as well, or think of like, oh, why don't I do like a little variation on this, or combine like two of these different types of channels, which is always a possibility as well. So I hope you get a ton of value from this, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Now let's talk about the pitfalls that I see so many new YouTubers fall into by choosing a terrible niche. See, there's some niches on YouTube that you just want to avoid at all costs. And in this lesson right here, I'm going to be showing you some of those niches to avoid. So first of all, here's what we're going to be covering in this lesson. Why some niches aren't worth your time. They're really not. And I'm going to be showing you the worst niches to avoid. So first, let's talk about why some niches aren't worth your time. See, YouTube bans certain types of channels, and while some of these types of channels could potentially work short term, you're not going to be able to build a real long-term business with YouTube running these types of channels. See, there's a lot of different YouTube gurus out there who teach how to make money on YouTube and stuff like that, but the reason they're not able to do things like qualify for getting YouTube play buttons is because they're constantly making new channels and then getting them deleted, getting them banned. So I want to show you a real way of doing YouTube in this program that you can do long term. See, I've been lucky enough to get YouTube partner managers from YouTube itself and have a really great relationship with YouTube as well because I abide by their policies. So by doing that, it's going to really help you build a real long-term business using YouTube. And some niches also can't even be monetized. So, I see so many people building up big channels, which is great, might not violate the terms of service, whatever, but they can't be monetized because certain niches literally just can't be monetized. That's why I want to show you in this lesson right here, the worst niches to avoid. So let's get into it right now. So first of all, the first niche that you definitely want to avoid, or the first type of content really, is compilation videos with no transformation whatsoever. And I gave the example right there, like TikTok compilation. So when you're producing compilation videos, typically what's going to happen is you might get very successful doing it. You might, grow a big channel doing it, but then you'll start getting copyright strikes from the owners of that content, which definitely is not very good. And if you didn't transform that content at all, you don't have anything to stand behind. See, if you made it transformative and you made it fair use, you could say that and YouTube will take a look at it, and we'll be going more into how copyright works and everything like that. But you always want to make sure you're making your content transformative by doing things like adding a voiceover and making it your own content. See, you can use other people's content, but you need to make it transformative and fair use to be able to do this correctly. So compilation videos where you just take other people's videos, put them together, and then re-upload are definitely not a great way of doing YouTube, especially when you have no transformation whatsoever. So that's definitely the worst type of content to avoid. Next is re-uploading videos straight up, just straight up re-uploading videos. And the worst to do this in would be movies and TV shows. And as you can see, we have the example of Family Guy right there. And notice that all these Family Guy episodes right here, they're only up when you search like Family Guy episodes. They're only up for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and a lot of them get deleted after that. And I can guarantee you that these channels aren't monetized either. And if they are, they'll be getting taken down very soon because that's really, and you'll be censored for copyright as well. They have very sophisticated copyright engines that detect if you just straight up re-upload full Family Guy episodes or whatever TV show or movie, and that's really the worst thing to do it in. So just re-uploading videos, re-uploading movies or TV shows is definitely one of the worst niches to avoid. And the next would be re-uploading music. Now, the worst is re-uploading copyright music. Music like, as you can see, Jason Derulo right there, or different popular artists. And then some example channels would be like lyric channels, or just straight up using copyright music in your video. Like you might have an original video, or you might make a video transformative using other people's videos. However, if you're using copyright music in the background, sometimes the person who owns that music will claim your video and then they'll get all the ad revenue. So don't give them the ad revenue. There's tons of great free places to get music, and I highly do not recommend using any types of copyrighted music whatsoever because there's so many great sources of free music that you can use that I'll be going over in this program. And I just want to make sure you don't fall into any of these pitfalls to make sure that you're successful with YouTube and to make sure you can build a real long-term business with YouTube. I'm literally just looking out for you along your journey here with this lesson. So the next type of channel is kid channels. Now, you might be saying, Matt, aren't some of the biggest YouTubers kids channels? And while that is true, you also have to take into account that YouTube recently passed something called COPPA, which is also known as the Child Online Privacy Protection Act. Now, what that essentially does is that it limits advertisers for specifically advertising to kids. And that's my understanding of it. You can obviously look into this more. However, what I've heard is that a lot of these people running kids channels, they've seen drastic reductions in the amount of ad revenue that they're getting, and a lot of different certain YouTube features aren't even available to those types of kids channels either, and you have to manually mark your content as for kids or not for kids. And with the FTC introducing COPPA, what's also happened is that if you mislabel one of your videos, you could potentially be fined as much as $40,000. So I like to just stay out of the kids niche whatsoever. I mean, while you could potentially get a lot of views, unless you already have a really big kids channel, I don't really generally recommend going into the kids niche. And I recommend producing content for the intention of it being shown to at least a teenage or an adult audience. And the next type of channel are meditation channels with no voiceover. See, meditation channels are fine, and I even teach how to grow meditation channels on my YouTube channel a lot, because there's huge meditation channels out there that are potentially making a lot of money. However, you have to do it the right way. You can't just re-upload someone else's meditation and claim it as your own, or so on. And if you do a meditation channel with no voiceover, or a voiceover that you don't own, then you're going to have a really hard time getting monetized with that channel. Now, there are channels that do it, and if you do a meditation channel with no voiceover, make sure that you own the relaxing music in the background, or you own whatever's playing in the background of that meditation. Don't just straight up re-upload other people's meditations. You want to make sure that you make it unique and you make it your own, and you want to make sure that you're having an original voiceover done saying certain affirmations in the background, and that's to make sure that you can get monetized and to make sure that you can make money doing this. Now, you could potentially run a meditation channel in which you just play like copyright-free music in the background, and you may or may not get monetized, but you could potentially promote like affiliate products relating to like spirituality or meditation products as an affiliate in the description of your videos, which is potentially something you could do. But I always like to have ways, multiple different ways of monetizing my channel. I like to have ad revenue. I like to be in high CPM niches, and the meditation niche as well. I don't recommend putting ad breaks, multiple ad breaks throughout the meditation videos, because it could potentially interrupt the viewing experience. So you would typically only put an ad at the beginning and end of the video, but if you're getting very high view counts, you can still make a ton of money doing this. But those are just a couple things to take into account. The meditation niche is still great, but doing a meditation channel with no voiceover whatsoever is definitely a niche to avoid. And the final type of content to avoid would be robot-generated content and robot voiceovers. And as you can see, some examples right there are those Reddit channels that basically they just copy-paste from Reddit and then put robot voiceovers behind it. And while some of these can get a lot of views, YouTube is not monetizing this type of content, which you might be saying, well, that sucks. I wish I could just, re-upload robot-generated content. But it's actually really good for a few reasons. One of the first reasons is that if YouTube did allow that, there would just be so much robot-generated content being uploaded to YouTube that it would just be an insane amount of competition. And also, it would just crowd their servers, and YouTube would lose money. And if YouTube loses money, you could potentially not make as much money as a creator. And also, when the barrier of entry is higher to YouTube and it takes more work to actually generate content for YouTube, or having a content team generate the content, that's really good for the people who are running those types of channels, because there's not going to be as much competition, and the competition there is won't be as big. And then the even smaller subset of people who know this knowledge that you're discovering in this program is even smaller. A lot of people just get lucky and they might have a couple videos go up and then they go down. You're learning how to do this long term from someone who's running multiple different YouTube channels the right way. So you're learning how to do this the right way. And also, when YouTube doesn't allow like small channels with under 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 hours of watch time to monetize, and when they don't allow channels like robot generated content and stuff like that to monetize, what that does is it takes the ad revenue that would be going to all these other spam channels and everything like that, and that revenue gets funneled into all the other channels on YouTube who are doing this legitimately. And I'm teaching you how to do this legitimately in this program. So think of it as a good thing. You can always think of it as a bad thing, and that's what a lot of people do. Like, oh, I'm never going to make money on YouTube because YouTube isn't monetizing me with less than 4,000 hours of watch time or 1,000 subscribers. When the reality is the amount of money that you would be making anyway with less than 4,000 hours of watch time isn't really anything at all. And the channels that have less than 1,000 subscribers typically don't make that much money. Now, there could be a potential waiting period when you do get monetized. And sometimes I have channels with videos that blow up, get like, a ton of views, and a portion of those views aren't monetized because I'm waiting to get monetized. But it usually only takes a couple of weeks. And then when you do get monetized, it's making money consistently from then out. So it's definitely worth it to do this. And these are just some pitfalls to look out for and some types of content to avoid making and some of the worst niches on YouTube. Again, I'm saying this to save you the hassle of, not going through and producing a bunch of content in any of these different niches and then figuring out later down the line that you can't monetize or that you could monetize, but it's only going to be available short term because YouTube's taking down these types of channels or banning these types of channels or whatever. I want to make sure that you can build a real long-term business with YouTube, and that's what this program is for. So I hope you got value from this lesson, and I hope that this is going to help you choose a really great niche and really crush it with YouTube. Can't wait to see you in the next lesson. I'll see you there. All right, everybody. So welcome to the doing market research section of this module. So in this module, what we're going to be doing is making a list of 10 potential ideas that you could do long-term, and then seeing if there's other popular channels or videos in that niche. And then we're going to narrow down our list only to the niches that are actually popular and there's actually demand for. And then finally, we're going to also make notes of any sub niches that we come across along the way. So potential opportunities that we may come across along the way as we're doing this process. So if, for example, we were searching the health niche, we might come across a ton of different sub niches like how to build muscle, how to lose weight, maybe some really unique ones like how to lose weight with keto, or all these different options, right? And there's so many different sub niches on YouTube as well. And then we're going to do keyword research if we still haven't decided, and then make our decision based on the niches that have the best overall possibilities of ranking for to get that initial search traction, and then finally leverage that to get into the suggested video feeds and absolutely blow up on YouTube. Now, these aren't the only factors that you need to take into account when you're choosing a niche. You can also take factors such as if you're interested in this particular niche into account, and in my opinion, it's a really good idea to do this for reasons that we stated in previous lessons. So with that being said, let's go forward right here, and our final goal for this lesson is to have your niche chosen. Now, I know it's a lot easier said than done. I myself sometimes have a lot of difficulty choosing a niche, but really, if you give yourself a time limit, and if you refer back to that checklist that I gave you a few lessons back, and if you give yourself a time limit, say 1 week to choose a niche, it's going to be a lot easier if you make yourself choose a niche within that time period to actually come to a decision. Because what's much more important than choosing the best niche in the world is actually getting started on a niche that has good potential and you take action on that niche. Instant, imperfect action always beats perfect, delayed action. That's so true, especially in this instance of choosing a niche on YouTube. So remember to take all of these things into account, and this is really to give you as much data as possible to make as an informed decision as possible. But at the end of the day, you will need to make a decision, and it's really important that you do make a decision. Even if it's not perfect, it's really important that you make a decision on a niche. Now, with that being said, all of these resources that I'm giving you are to help you with doing so. So first of all, let's make our list of niche ideas. In making your list of niche ideas, what you can do is think about maybe hobbies you have, things you're interested in. And another idea as well is to go through that list of over 100 plus profitable niches that I gave you in previous lessons, and also take a look at all those different example channels that I gave you in that spreadsheet as well, and take a note of any of these different niches or example channels or categories of content that you have any interest in. This is to give you as much resources as possible to make this decision. Now, if you're not interested in any of these things, you can't think of any hobbies that you have, and you really just want to choose a good niche, and you just want to get started going with this as soon as possible, and you really don't feel strongly one way or the other in regards to things you're interested in or in regards to the list of niches that I gave, then a really good best practice is to simply use what I like to call the big three as inspiration. Now, the big three are health, wealth, and happiness. And I know I briefly touched on this in previous lessons as well, but happiness can refer to like psychology, mental health, stuff like that, while health and wealth are pretty self-explanatory. Health would include things like losing weight, gaining muscles, stuff like that, and wealth would include things like how to make money online, financial news, how to save money, how to invest money, and stuff of that nature. So if you really don't feel strongly one way or another on anything, I just recommend choosing one of the big three. I mean, flip a coin, choose it randomly if you literally don't feel strongly one way or another, but usually you'll be more inclined to do one over the other. Like, let's say you're more interested in making money online, like yourself. That's something you're really interested in, so you could potentially make a channel about that. And along the way, even if you're outsourcing the content creation, you're going to learn a lot about making money online or whatever the channel is talking about, due to the fact that you're probably going to watch some of your own videos that you publish on the channel. And if you're actually producing the content, then it's even more important that you're actually interested in that topic as well. So those are just some things to take into consideration. And now let's talk about how to see if there's already popular videos and channels in the niche and if the niche is worth pursuing. So it's really important that you do this, and I typically look for videos that have a lot of views in the niche. Now, obviously, this can differ based off of which niche that you're choosing. Obviously, some niches will be more lucrative than others due to the fact that you'll be able to monetize with alternative sources or they have higher CPMs. So those are just a couple things to take into account. But typically, I look for videos with over 100,000 views in a niche. That seems to be the sweet spot for me. If I can see multiple videos with over 100,000 views in a given niche, that tells me that there is definitely a lot of interest in that niche. Now, like I said, some niches will have less views, however, a high CPM. So I typically look for maybe a little bit less than that if it's like a super high CPM niche. Like if we were talking about the make money online niche, and let's say that there wasn't as much interest in that niche as there is. There's a ton of interest in that niche, but if there wasn't, I would only look for, videos with maybe like 50,000 views per like some of the top videos in that niche due to the fact that it has such a crazy CPM. And also, I'd like to look for channels that have over 10,000 subscribers. And also, I try to search the niche and see if any bad videos come up. Now, what do I mean by bad videos? I typically look for videos that are less than 10 minutes long in the niche. And if I see that, if I search the niche on YouTube and I see a bunch of videos under 10 minutes long, that tells me that some of these top ranking videos on YouTube probably aren't that good. And if our content team, or if we can produce better videos than those videos, we're going to dominate this niche. And that's what I like to look for when I'm looking if there's already popular videos and channels in a given niche for ideas. So now let me actually demonstrate for you how I go about doing this process and give you all the best tips and tricks along the way. All right, so I recommend opening up a new incognito tab in Chrome and then doing your channel research in there, just so none of the search results are going to be tailored to you, and so none of the results are skewed, because sometimes when you search on YouTube and you're already logged into your YouTube account, you can get results that aren't necessarily related to the actual content you're looking up and content that's performing good, but rather sometimes you can get results that are tailored to you. So it's a good idea to open up a new incognito tab for doing this. And then let's say, for example, I'm going to give you a couple different examples here, and I'm going to be showing you some ideas for exactly how you can find some of the best niches. But first of all, let's just say that one of our first ideas for a niche would be how to make money on YouTube. So let's just search make money YouTube right here, and let's see what comes up. So as you can see, the first result right here is an advertisement, so we can disregard that one. And then the first video right here is a 7-minute long video. So and it has 7 million views as well. So a pretty short video with a lot of views as well. And remember when I said short videos, if you see a lot of short videos that are under 10 minutes showing up on the search result right here, that means this could potentially be a great opportunity. And the top one is a very short video, but it's probably very good and it keeps people's attention very good due to the fact that there's probably a lot of fast cuts throughout the video. And then the second video right here, here's my video, and as you can see, it's 11 minutes long. I put a ton of work into this video, and I really try to make it the best that I possibly could, and due to that fact, it's actually ranking on YouTube. Sometimes the #1 result, sometimes #2 for make money on YouTube, Then we have another one of my videos right here. And then we have this video right here, which is by the YouTube creators channel. So even though this video is only 3 minutes long, it's kind of skewed due to the fact that it's made by YouTube. So obviously they're going to make that rank higher for the search term make money on YouTube. But going through here, here's another one right here, how to make money on YouTube, 9 minutes long. So a lot of videos sub 10 minutes, which is a very good sign, and meaning that it could potentially be very easy to get those initial views from search results from YouTube. And the goal is not to rely purely on search traffic forever, but just use that to get initial traction and then leverage that traction to getting tons and tons and tons of suggested video views. And that's how you can truly blow up. So as you can see, there's a few videos that are under 10 minutes right here, but looking at view counts right here, we have 7 million views, 600,000, 4,000, 4 million, 2,000. So a lot of high views, low views. But the good sign is that there are videos with over 100,000 views, which is one of my criteria when looking at this initially. So then let's say we wanted to get some more sub-niche ideas for this given niche. And in order to do that, what I recommend doing is checking out some of the channels that are producing these types of content, whatever the niche that you're looking at. For my example right here, let's say we wanted to take a look at my channel. Sense is producing videos that are in this niche about making money online. And what I recommend doing is just going through different channels and seeing the types of videos that they upload. As you can see, this video right here, how to promote your YouTube channel. So this could be a potential sub niche for this given broad niche of making money on YouTube. Think about some other sub niches you could go into, maybe how to grow on YouTube, how to promote your YouTube channel, like this example right here, how to promote your YouTube channel. So let's say we wanted to search how to promote your YouTube channel, for example. And as you can see, we got some ads right here. And then we have the search results right here. So here's a video, 11 minutes, probably a pretty good video if it's ranking #1 for this. Here's another one, 18 minutes, also probably pretty good. But going through right here, let's just see what we can find. Here's a 4-minute video that's ranking in the search results, uploaded 2 years ago. So not many newer videos that are ranking for this given search term. It's just something to take into consideration. This could be a potentially good avenue to go under as well as a sub niche of that broad niche of making money on YouTube, growing on YouTube, and all of that kind of stuff. So does this niche of making money on YouTube check off our boxes? Are there videos with over 100,000 views? Yes, check. Are there channels with over 10,000 subscribers dedicated solely to this niche? Yes, check. And are there a bunch of different sub niches within this niche as well that you could go into, or little offshoots like how to grow on YouTube and everything like that? Yes, check. And when you search for this niche on YouTube, do bad videos come up? And by bad videos, I mean videos that likely have a pretty bad audience retention due to the fact that there's not many cuts throughout the video. The video's kind of sloppily put together, under 10 minutes long. There were a few that came up that hit that criteria, in my opinion, when you search make money on YouTube. So I do think that this is a very good niche. And due to the fact that you can actually monetize through alternative sources as well, promoting affiliate products, promoting this course, but these aren't the only things that you're going to want to look at as well. You're also going to want to take a look into the competition in the niche as well, because it's one thing to have a bunch of videos that have super high view counts. That's really good. However, if the niche is too competitive and if it's too saturated, we're not going to want to go into that niche. Now, how can you actually deduce whether a niche is too saturated? Well, this can be kind of tricky, and that's due to the fact that competition on YouTube, to a large degree, can actually be good. However, it can be bad as well if it gets to be too much. Now, what are some examples of niches that may be a little bit too saturated? There's certain games out there, like maybe Fortnite games or stuff like that, which could be considered a bit too saturated, or like Minecraft Let's Plays. However, there's so many different sub-niches within most niches on YouTube that you can probably find some different avenues to go under. So I wouldn't do like a broad niche like a gaming Let's Play channel per se. Instead, I would try to think outside the box on things that you could incorporate that haven't been done before, maybe combining different niches along with each other into something new. Now, it doesn't have to be new per se. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. However, these are just some good things to think about. And also, you're going to be wanting to do keyword research on individual niches, on certain key phrases in niches that you're going to be dedicating your channel to see if there is too much competition as well. And I'm going to be giving you all the resources for doing that correctly in the next modules. Now let's actually open up the example channel spreadsheet that I gave you for all of these example niche channels, and let's choose one niche channel to really do a deep dive on and see if this would be a good niche to pursue. So let's say, for example, that we're going through here, and let's say that we go through, and let's say we wanted to do an animal channel. So we pick a random animal channel like Animal Facts right here, and we open up this channel, and let's take a look at this channel and see if this would be potentially a good niche to go into. So what I recommend doing is going to big channels in the niche, or just channels in the niche in general, going to their video section, sorting their videos by their most popular videos right here. And what I like to do, first of all, is just see if there's anything that jumps out at me. Any videos that are under 10 minutes, like this one right here jumps out, gentle small dog breeds. And it's an old video as well, so you could potentially make a new video and do very well with a video like this. Maltese Dogs 101. This video is only 5 minutes and it got 500,000 views right here, uploaded 3 years ago. And when I'm looking at video lengths as well right here, this isn't an end-all be-all for the filters that I look for videos. There are some amazing videos that are under 5 minutes that keep people glued to the video for the whole 5 minutes. And even if you produce a 10-minute video, if you don't keep people on that video for 10 minutes, it's going to be hard to outperform that video. But you just have to do better than most of the competition on YouTube to do very well on YouTube. So that's just something to consider. So what I like to do here is I like to go through their most popular videos, take a look at one of them right here, like the top 10 small dog breeds that don't shed. Very niche keyword right here. And if we search this on YouTube, it'll be really interesting to see what comes up. So we have this video right here, and this video right here is an under 10-minute video. We have this 10-minute video right here uploaded by Dog World with 1,000 views. And going through right here, 3-minute video, 4-minute video. As you can see, lots of videos that aren't very long right here that we could potentially outrank with channels like this. So now let's go back over to that make money on YouTube niche right here, and let's search that on YouTube. And let me show you another great filter to see if this is a good niche as well. And that's by going to the filter tab provided within YouTube right here, clicking that, and then sorting it by view count, and then go into filter again, and sort by upload date right here on the left, and then go to uploaded in the past month. I like to look if there's actual big videos that have been uploaded in the past month. And right here, as you can see, there are some big videos like people revealing their income reports from big YouTubers right here, 1.5 million views in 3 weeks. Now, this is a big YouTuber, so most of those views are probably coming from that. But scrolling through right here, now we're at 200,000 views. A lot of these will be like not even related to the video or just very loosely related to the video. But as you can see right here, how to earn money watching YouTube videos, 100,000 views in 2 weeks right there. Not bad at all. But going through here, we want to see ones that are actually related to specifically making money on YouTube. Now we're at 70,000 views uploaded in the past month. Yep, 70,000 views right here. A lot of make money online in general. So as you can see, here's one, how much YouTube pays you for 1 million views. Another income report, those seem to do very well. YouTubers revealing how much that they make. So there are some videos with decent amounts of views that have been uploaded in the past month, but we do need to take into consideration the amount of money that we could make from those views. So even though this might not be a niche per se in which we're going to be having a channel getting 10 million views a month, I don't think there's one make money online channel that's really hitting those specifications. There's finance channels and like finance news channels and stuff like that, but I haven't found really any that are getting, over 10 million views a month. While that would be a possibility if you were doing something like a general list channel on a super popular subject like scary videos, for instance, or tech videos. But in the make money online niche or the make money on YouTube niche, you could make a lot of money per 1,000 views due to the fact of being able to take advantage of alternative sources like promoting affiliate products. All right, so if you still haven't narrowed down your niche to at least a few niches to choose between, or you have a couple different niches to choose between, I'm going to be showing you how to do keyword research here in just a second. But if you can narrow down your niche based off of something that you would be most interested in, that's even better. And like I said, if you're still undecided, I recommend then doing keyword research. And I'm going to be showing you that method in the next module. And then what you want to do is choose the niche with the highest overall scores. And you might be wondering, what do you mean by overall scores? How do I do keyword research? What tool am I going to be using? Well, don't worry. I'm going to be showing you all of that in the next module, and I'm going to be going through it in detail, exactly how to do keyword research. But if you want to refer back to this module right here, or back to this lesson, just remember, if you want to do keyword research for your niche or searching for different niches on YouTube, what I recommend doing is using the keyword tool that I'm going to reveal to you in the next module, and going through that keyword tool, putting in some potential niche ideas, and then sorting those by the highest overall scores. And then what I recommend doing, you can get tons of video ideas doing this as well, and I'll be getting more into this into the next modules here. However, you can go through here and see which niches. Let's say you've narrowed down your list to 3 different niches that you're trying to choose between. Put a bunch of different search terms and put those niches directly within this tool. See which ones have the highest overall score, and then choose those niches. And again, I know this is confusing because I haven't even showed you the keyword tool that you're using or anything like that, but don't worry, I promise I'm going to show that to you in the next module here, exactly how to use it correctly. Also, make sure you only search the specific niches that you're thinking about doing. And also, along with that, you can search video ideas as well. And this will allow you to take advantage of lower competition niches that have a lower barrier to entry to get into. And like I said, I'm going to be showing you how to do all that, and I just noticed that I wasn't showing the screen right here. So as you can see, make sure to only search your specific niche that you're thinking about doing. So instead of just searching technology as a huge broad niche, search only the sub niche that you're thinking about doing, like future technology. And like I always recommend, it's always best to choose a very specific niche. The more specific, the better for getting that initial traction. And over time, you can eventually become more broad in the scope of the channel, but I recommend being as specific as you possibly can, and also searching only specific niches within the keyword tool that I'll be showing you in the next module. And also, you can search for particular video ideas as well. This is a great way to get tons of video ideas. And also, like I said, this is going to allow you to take advantage of lower competition niches, because the lower the competition, the niche, the easier it's going to be to get initial search traction and then be able to leverage that traction eventually, hopefully, into millions of suggested video views. So those are some things to take into consideration when it comes to doing market research and keyword research for choosing a particular niche. But when it comes down to it, you do just need to choose a niche. And like I said, it might not be the best niche in the world, but as long as it's good, you can take advantage of it. I mean, I've had niches that meet most of my criteria but fall short on a couple, but I took action on those niches and I've built huge channels as a result. And over time, your content strategy may change. You might find certain opportunities that you didn't find before, and you can take action on those as well. But it's really important to choose a niche. And if you're just getting started doing this, it's important to take action on a niche. Now, if you already have a niche, you have something you're interested in, you already have a channel, then you can simply get started on that channel. And what I recommend doing if you already have a channel is going through the keyword research part of this next section right here and searching your niches within that keyword tool and making sure that there's actually demand, there's people searching for it. Check the search volumes, make sure there's people searching for that every single month. And also, make sure that the competition just isn't insanely high. And I'll be showing you how to do that in the next module right here. But you can always refer back to this video when you're thinking about what to do in terms of keyword research for finding a particular niche. Hope you got value from this, and you're going to get a ton of value from this next module right here. And I'll see you in the next module. Now, another way to get tons of amazing niche ideas for your channel and to get a new list of niches that is constantly updated is to join TubeMagic. Now, we're going to be talking about TubeMagic a little bit later in this course as well, and I'm going to be showing you exactly how to use it for my secret keyword process, which is going to be one of the most important lessons in this entire program. But when it comes to choosing a niche, TubeMagic is a tool that I've put together that I originally acquired. It was called something else. We changed the name to TubeMagic, and we've added all these different tools. You can do video ideas, scripting, a ton of awesome stuff. We're going to be talking about all that later in the program. But for right now, what I want to focus on is the Niche Explorer when it comes to choosing a niche. Within the Niche Explorer, you can get access to tons of different niches in different categories that's constantly updated. We're adding new niches all the time. And also, you can see the approximate RPMs of these different niches. Now, RPM is an estimate of how much money you make per 1,000 views. Now, this is based off of my own experience and consulting multiple successful students within the course itself and seeing how much they're making per 1,000 views to put together this approximate RPM estimate right here. And also you can see the different niches. We have the overall broad niches, sub-niches within them, and then we have example channels within each of these niches. You can also sort these by RPM to find the absolute highest RPM/CPM niches. Also, if I ever say CPM, I sometimes use RPM and CPM interchangeably, so that's just something to note. And if you want to get access to Tube Magic, you can do it by the link below, and I'll give you a completely free 1-week trial if you want to try it out. And I think you're going to find it incredibly valuable for so many different aspects of running your YouTube channel. But when it comes to choosing a niche, I think it'll really help you there as well. So feel free to check that out down at the link below to get tons of more niche ideas that are constantly updated. And all of these, almost all of these different niches right here are faceless as well. So it relates specifically to this quite a bit. There might be a couple different channels that do show their face in here, but the vast majority, 90+% of these, are faceless channels right here. So you can check that out down at the link below. Feel free to, and I will see you in the next lesson.